I haven't brought it up. Mine was last week too. Gosh.
Hey guys. Hey Gene. Hey Steven. The fingers. The finger's been writing like messages galore. Jason, how are you?
I don't see any of the chat on whatchamacallit on the little window here for this.
Weird.
Yeah, I only have one. It's a little delayed, I think.
Yeah.
It says chat privately with host and get. It doesn't have any. Well, hold on a second, maybe because I don't have comments. There it is. Never mind.
Yeah. And they're talking about sailing. I was watching. So, you guys gonna sail away? Hey, Boone's on. Hey, Boone. Welcome. Boone. Let's see. Who else is there? MP is running a bit late, so we'll bring him on in a bit. But, yeah. Just give everyone a little bit of chance to roll in. The Shotgun Dave. Wildman. Dusty, why are you not at Marty's house? Dusty needs to come on. We need to see the other side of two lines.
The real person behind two lines.
The hidden line. Call him the hidden line. He's never on.
Jeff G, what's up? I don't know why Dusty calls ladies, but anyway, I'll take it up with him later.
He's my brother.
Who's the new guy in George's place?
Yeah, I know.
Watch me shave the whole thing here, and it'd be a really new guy too. Be another 20 years younger.
Looks like Dave from Slot R is up past his bedtime.
Oh God, Dave.
That's a hardcore dude right there. I'll give him that much.
Man,
right on, Dave.
He is.
When you're making a scenery video and your phone notification says Boone subscribe to the channel. Yeah.
Boone's laughing.
I'm the silent partner, Dusty says. Gary, welcome.
Garage of Slot Cars, Jason.
Garage of Slot Cars in the house.
Dunmore.
This is the guys that races with you at Cincy, no? The Yam FG. 1200 rider. Daryl.
My brother's twins.
Jason's here.
The
fingers. George with that haircut, you're one of my brother's twins. Nice. 33 Bean Raceway.
Looks like he caved and bought the shadow.
Nice. Welcome.
I just caved and bought two McLarens.
You bought the McLarens? Yeah.
I have you those thunder slots. They're too beautiful.
Oh man, they look so good.
That's the last.
You get them from Slot Car Corner?
No, they sold out. But then there's a pre-order through LEB though. From what I understand, I think the Slot Car Corner did have some of them, but they sold out.
Slot R's been hanging out with the fingers, Dusty. That's why he didn't sleep.
It doesn't matter what time the live stream is, the fingers is on.
Oh man.
I caught Pete's Sunday morning and the fingers was there.
Yep. Let me see what's going on with MP. What's the GTA?
He's doing his hair.
Oh. Yeah.
Nice one, Sean.
Watching from the shadows here.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay.
Daryl's here.
Sean's here. John Albright's here.
John Albright. Is this
Welcome,
the
John.
Or George's haircut? Everybody's calling him a haircut.
You know what? Let's just talk
looks
about
good,
George's
man.
haircut today.
You know what? All I can say is don't be jealous. Being 55, that I could grow my hair to here and then cut it down, and it'll grow in another 8 months. So
That's right, man.
But that's okay. I'll let you go bald someday. But my dad hasn't gone bald yet, and he's 78. So
There you
Yeah.
go.
That usually
Well,
comes from your mother's side of the family.
oh, really? The baldness? Oh, my mom still has full head of hair too.
Gene,
Are you
really?
serious? Really?
Your mom's dad.
The mother? No,
Yeah,
or you put on
yeah,
it?
that's the trait. The trait
really?
supposedly comes from your mother's father.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Well, I think he had a lot of
So.
hair too. So I think we're right.
Yeah.
We are really talking about evolution of George's haircut. Right. Hey, Gene, great job on the silicone molds. I was watching that. Good job.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's cool.
What's on the docket tonight? I don't know. Something we pulled out of a hat somewhere.
Buxmo is grandstanding.
We're-
Isn't he the
Yeah,
one who came up
he
with
just-
tonight's
he's just waiting
topic
for the
too?
big intro.
John, the haircut comment.
Massimo's grandstanding. Anyway, let's talk about Marty. How was your week? You've been really busy.
My week was good. Yeah, it's just life's been really busy. I didn't really do a lot on the slot car track this weekend, except for just put my shadow up on the shelf
Yeah, we saw that
That
one.
video
where,
was
where, it
hilarious.
belo- where it belongs.
How many times did you move it back and forth? I just want to know.
Oh my gosh! If you only saw what I cut out.
I think I'm gonna put it back, but it's just really good. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was
It was
funny.
the dumbest video I've ever edited. I
Oh, it
actually,
was funny. I loved it.
Dave and I had a conversation. I was gonna go all in, but I ran out of time. I was like gonna take the car to the movies, out to eat, and then like do a music montage of us like riding bicycles together. And I was like,
That would have been
I don't have
funny
that
as
kind of.
hell, man. You should have
I know, but I'm like, I don't have that kind of
The
time.
Forrest Gump moment with your shadow.
Well, you need that. You need the bicycle with the basket in front, right? Then you
Yeah,
can do the
shadow
ET
riding
go
up.
home kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, my sister was watching with me, and she's like, "Is he gonna open the car and run it?" I said, "Yes, he is. I know he is. We just gotta wait for it." She's like, oh, "Okay." So she painfully watched through it with me.
I'm so sorry.
It's
Please
kinda
No,
like,
it was
to her.
funny.
I don't know.
What's that you have there?
It was fun, man. That's a beautiful car. Gosh, it looks
Yeah.
so good.
I haven't
And
figured out how the bugs in to tune it, but it's really nice looking. Thank you very much. This is very beautiful. Looks even better in person. Really, really nice. It's a nice looking car. Thanks. Definitely gonna get that tuned.
Gary, thank you. The t-shirts are nice. Thank you. Oh, look. Our late arrival has come. Let's see. Let's switch to all guests and bring him in. Is he here? Oh, there he is.
Oh, Massimo.
He found
Marty,
his hair
George,
gel.
Green Giant.
Green giant.
Sorry, I meant Green Giant, not George. How's it going, guys?
Good,
All
good,
right,
good.
Man. Good to see you.
You made
Welcome.
it. You made it. People were
I
asking
made it.
what kind of gel you use for your hair. Because
Gel?
yeah,
It's like a
according,
paste.
according to the chat, the gel is what caused you to be late.
The gel, yeah, probably. It took me a good couple. I had to get each strand just right.
That's right.
Yeah.
A little bit of plucking, all that.
It's tough being pretty. It's a tough life.
Stop.
John Albright's like, let's get this show on the road, guys. Enough
Thanks,
about
John.
this hair products. All right, so Marty, you had an interesting video with the shadow. That was
Yeah,
cool.
man.
And
That made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Grandson of mine in the house, thank you. Clint in the house, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so you messed around with the shadow a little bit? You put it
Yeah, I
on
haven't really
track?
had a chance to tune it. Yeah, I put it on the track. The one thing that surprised me is just how good the tires are that came on it.
Yeah.
The rears are pretty good. Yeah, the only thing I did was I loosened the body a little bit and fluffed the braids and put a little bit of lube on it and
You take out the magnet
grip, and
too,
it's
right?
good. Yeah, I took out the magnet. It's running 8.7s, like real consistent, 8.7, 8.8s. 8.1 is like a really fast on my layout. So, but if I put silicones on it, which I'll pick up this weekend, I'll probably lose a half second right off the bat. So it puts it down in that 8.2, 8.3 range. So it's a mover, and it's so smooth, really performs. So I think a little bit more tuning. Had a handful of conversations. I think the next thing I'll do is once I get the body and the float where I want it, is throw some tape on the bottom. John Albright gave me a little hint that it likes some strapping tape, so we'll give that a shot too.
Yeah, cool. Sean Casey likes your haircut too, George. Just thought I'd point that out. Yeah.
Looks sharp.
Massimo, did you see the new guy we got on?
The new guy.
Yeah, the new guy.
Looks like a totally different dude.
The new guy.
Yeah.
George is the new guy. That's cool.
Yeah, really, the other one was being lazy and needed to get a haircut.
His new name is Mr. Green, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
These inside jokes. All right. Well, so that was Marty. Did you race anything this past week?
No racing. This next weekend, though, we're headed to. I don't think Butch is on here, but there's a wood track about a little less than 2 hours away. So it'll be our first taste of a proper wood track. So we'll take some cars, and it's just a test and tune, just to have some fun. So we're meeting up with Daryl and some guys from Cincinnati and some guys from Dayton, and just doing some laps and learning a little bit.
Right.
Cool.
Perfect. All right, George, you did some crazy cool stuff. So show us what you've been up to.
Ooh, I got a car from Rome.
I'm not even talking about that. Like, you got something else. You built something that's super sweet.
Well, the body has to be painted still. I couldn't paint it because it's too windy and cold here in North Carolina. I just got the motor mounted on this one's all I've done. So
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Painted it green, or like a yellowish, actually not green, fluorescent yellow. And the body's going to be a blue. It'll be metallic blue. But runs pretty good with the motor and no body.
Yeah.
But looks good. So hopefully it'll look better with the body on. We'll have to see.
Looks fantastic.
Just building another one behind me. There's another hot rod going together. So basically it. Nothing really. Maintenance the track a little. Checked a few things. Not much.
Cool. And then you said you bought the new Thunder slots.
Yeah, two of them on pre-order. The blue and the gold, yellowish ones. He's got gold. I like the Thunder slots. I have 4 or 5 of them downstairs. That Elva is fast on both tracks. You throw it on the oval here, and it's like lightning. You throw it down on the Area 51, it's like lightning. It's a really well built car. It doesn't need that much tuning. Yep, that's it. I have a black one and a white one too. I don't have the gold one. That's the Elvis one. That one's the most expensive right now because
hard to find.
Yeah, well, you can find it on eBay. You're gonna have to pay like $150.
Nice.
So it's kind of costly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you all for the haircut comments. I can see them all right there.
Yeah, it's hard for us to get Thunder slots. I don't we have to order them in. I'm waiting on my order from Electric Dreams. It's been about 2 weeks, so.
Have you tried LEB? Because LEB is actually supposedly a Canadian distributor. I don't know.
Yeah, I should. That's where I normally buy most of the stuff.
Electric Dreams right now they're trying. I don't know. I think they're raising the price a little. I think you watch out when you go to Electric Dreams because I think sometimes they kind of.
I had no choice. I had to get the McLaren M8 and I had to get the 917/10. So I had no choice but to get it from them. So
Yeah, they tend to kind of like, well, they're in California, so everything's more expensive. So I'll
Yep.
justify it as that. It's business. So, but, oh well.
the fingers. Anyway, yeah. So you have that was awesome, and I seen you working on another one, or is it just the motor mount that you're doing? I think you're working on another one, right? Yep. You already had it. You're like a production line, George.
There's I want to do the drop axle on the next one. I talked to Dave more or less on how to do that one, so I got the gist on that. That one's a little bit more advanced, but it's not too hard. You just gotta have more patience and a little bit more time. So I tried one out, but I didn't do something right. So I talked to Harry and Dave, and they kind of told me what to do. So that's what's nice. So I mean, I don't know everything, so getting advice from the guys that know, that's the best part. So the next one will be a drop axle.
Nice. Dusty's rebuilding his Fast Porsche 911 on 3D printed chassis. Where did you get the chassis from? Or did you print it yourself? I don't know. Let me know.
Shapeways.
Shapeways? Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So we have a little bit of information. Marty's talking about how the tape will settle the motor down. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, guys.
Joe. Oh, you're right. I was just answering Joe's question about strapping tape.
Yeah, cool. All right, Mass, how was your week?
Week was okay. In terms of slot car related stuff, I've been working on the track.
Yeah, it looks good.
The paint's, you know what? I'm happy the paint's finally done. I painted everything. I just got to weather about a quarter of the track still. But the track is, I fit it together just to make sure it all fits. The table's built. I got to go buy foam for the base again and then do some landscaping and all that fun stuff again. But track's done, painted. I'm happy about that. And in terms of cars, I ordered one of the McLarens as well. The yellow one. I couldn't get the blue one. Unfortunately, I wanted that blue one, but...
Where did you order it from?
I think it was... I know I have an order at Slot Car Corner and then an order at LEB, so it might have been LEB.
LEB has both on pre-order if you want both. If you want the blue one, it's there.
Maybe it was them.
It'll be there.
The one I ordered
this morning.
Okay.
Yeah. They're there.
The place I ordered from, the blue one was out of stock, so it must have been a different one. Then I don't remember. It's hard to keep track who you order from. That's a bad thing, I guess. But when you're ordering too much.
Yeah, sometimes you get doubles and forget.
Oh God. Yeah. And what else? And then I went a little bit crazy on AliExpress again, and found a bunch of Carrera Digital Can-Am cars. I don't know how old they are, but there was like the Lola, the Porsche, and the McLaren.
Nice.
All Carrera Digital. So I picked those up. So I haven't seen them anywhere before. So I thought that was cool.
The old school ones?
Yeah, they're digital. So I don't know what year they're from. Maybe 2010?
2009, 2010, 2011. There's the Lola, the yellow, the red. Probably there's them all right there. You can show you. And then there's two of the McLarens, the yellow ones. And then there's the I think it's a white Lola. Yep. And then there's the Cinco Porsche, a white Porsche. Porsche,
this stuff.
The Porsche. Yeah, that's one of them.
The black McLaren is probably the nicest one.
Yeah.
You have them all, don't you, Rob? You should have them all. I know you got them there.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't have them all.
You know what's cool about these cars is that on the McLaren, not all of them, if you run them down the track, the tailpipes light up like a backfire after you let off the trigger. They'll flash.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, that's what's cool about those cars. And some of them do that, not all of them. The Lolas don't, but I know the McLarens do, and I think the Porsches do.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. It's awesome.
Yeah, just watch them when you see them. When they go down, you see the little tailpipes light up. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's the first thing I'm going to try now.
That's the effect I've been trying to find, and so is Harry for some of the scratch build cars. There's a guy that built that Hoonigan car. I don't know where he found those at, but his lights up when you let off the trigger on a scratch belt, and it looks badass. So
That's cool.
it's
really
hard to
cool.
find that, like to duplicate that.
MP, Clint wants to know how you're weathering a track. So what's your process?
I've just been using black acrylic paint on a damp, like a wet cloth, and I kind of just smear on a racing line. And I'll use a Carrera tire. I have obviously a bunch of, old Carrera tires. I'll dip them in paint and kind of make that simulate skid marks. And then just again with the damp cloth, I'll kind of just rub them in a bit, just to, if it's a little bit thick in some areas, I'll play with it like that and kind of just thin it out with some water on a wet rag or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a couple cars this week?
Yeah, a few cars this week.
Nice. The tailpipe lighting was weak on my car. Sunday, welcome.
Probably because the lights are probably back in there. Something I don't know if the lights falling.
The FT chips allow you to do tailpipe lights.
Sunday. The voltage on the track.
Yeah, so myself, I don't think I bought. Well, I haven't bought anything new this week. Yeah, it's one of those weeks. But I don't think there's nothing that I really wanted to get right now. I might pick up the McLarens, but they were not available at LEB. I guess I have to pre-order them. I'm not too sure. I'm still waiting on my Ferrari Momos to arrive. But other than that, the main thing that I wanted to do was lay down the track for the big track and get that started. It was because I had no pre-design for it. It was just a matter of like bringing out all the track I have, and I have boxes left over, and just putting a track together, knowing that I was going through into a Lego city and then bringing it back. And the main reason for that is just to understand the elevation, because it was important for me to understand how much space do I have, because I'm going to be building a lot of terrain, but we need to understand the space for the terrain, and then we have to build all the framing to put all the MDF in the air. So that was like critical. And I showcased some of the photographs. But hey, what do you guys think? Because it's not a track that was earlier prepared. It was something that was built as we were just putting down track. Like, it wasn't something that I went on a computer and I generated a track and I said this is what I was going to do, because I had no idea how the straights were going to line up to come through that wall. And also I wanted to actually dip the front straight down under the table and bring it up, and I realized Carrera track does not like to bend that well. So we're going to go with a simpler solution right now.
The fact that you had no plan in terms of track layout, I think you did a really good job. From the pictures you sent, it looked very cool.
Yeah. I've yet to do it, but okay. Gene is asking how you clean soldering iron. Yeah. Basically, it was it's mainly the elevation, and also to line up the front, like how I have the pit lane at the top and then curving it back to go down to that front straight. That was, we had to understand that. I had to make sure everything was ready to fit. So it's almost complete. Like, I understand how the track's going to lay out, but now we just tear it apart and then start the terraforming, and that's going to take a long time. So pink foam is my friend now.
Yeah. Are you gonna end up trying that yoga mat thing you were talking about?
Yeah, I ordered. They come in 6x4 sheets, so I ordered them to fill the first 3, and then gonna drop the track into the yoga mat, so they'll be flush. And then they're gonna terraform. The problem is the army that's furthest away is all on cork board, and it's spray painted it's airbrushed blue, like basing. So it looks like it's coming off like a blue. It's giving off like a blue vibe as they walk out. So, and then it's funny because that same mommy transitions to a normal color. So there is going to be because I'm gonna paint the track. The whole track's gonna be matched to the table. So yeah, it's getting crazy. Yeah, and I have a waterfall too. There's a waterfall effect that will be created for that table as well. Boone, become one with the foam. I know.
Become one.
Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. It's process, I guess. And then yesterday I was messing around with the shadow as well, and just taking some shots and stuff. So that was it. That's what I've done this week for slot cars. Yeah. But anyway, we don't really have a guest tonight, so we'll just step into the topic. And the topic is legendary cars. So with the Shadow releasing, I think it's been like one of the most publicized cars on the internet right now. Everywhere you turn, there's a video, and when I go into my YouTube feed, it's full of the Shadow. And I was just thinking to myself, and I wanted to say, we talked about doing we talk about the Shadow, but then MP said, well, why don't we talk about legendary cars and what's been in the past, what's the present, and what do you think we should go in the future? So MP, since you came up with it, why don't you kick us off?
Me? Oh.
I knew I was going to throw him under the bus. But anyway, let's talk about legendary.
Legendary cars?
When we talk legendary cars, it's very subjective. I think for myself, I grew up in Africa, so legendary cars to me are rally cars, because that's what I grew up around. That's what I saw racing. So I don't know nothing about American muscle, I'll be honest, until I came to North America, right? Thank you, George. Thank you. I came to North America, and then I started to get introduced to, obviously, the modern muscle, which is what I fell in love with. But I never... Sunday Slackers comes up with weird shit all the time. Anyway, so when I came to North America, I saw a modern American muscle, and then when you start going to car shows, you start getting introduced to like the previous generation of cars, because as you see them live, like the the '69 Chevys and the '70s Chargers, and slowly I've built my knowledge on older cars, like the Roadrunners, mostly Mopars because I'm a Mopar freak. But that's my introduction to the world of cars, and then legendary cars would fall under those categories. So for myself, when I think legendary cars, I think first I go rally cars, right? So I think about like my favorite car is the Lancia Delta Integrale, right? So when I picked one up in Spain, it was like picking up the history, right? So you pick up this, like, that's a legendary car to me, right? But when you think about cars that have impacted, I guess, racing world, to me, the 917 seems to be the most appropriate one to call legendary, right? So anyway, so that's my background in legendary cars. So I'll go around the room, and guys in the chat can add to it. So yeah, another thing, I never knew about the Shadow. So when everyone was like, ooh, the Shadow's coming out, I'm like, what is the Shadow? Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. It's a cool car for me, and I have a lot of Can-Am cars. By nature, I pick up a lot of Can-Am cars that seem to appeal to me, but I don't really pick them up knowing, oh, this is the history of the car, and that's the car. I pick it up because I really like the style and the shape, and that's it. So yeah, anyway, we'll come back. So MP, you're up.
I don't know. For me, it's I always default to Formula One. And the car that's for me the most iconic, and that I always want to see made, and it's been made before, but now Policar is making it again. It's a Gilles Villeneuve number 27. That's like for me, that's my favorite F1 car. I just the rawness of it. It's a crazy. I don't know. Back then they were crazy. They were lunatics, and for me that car is just beautiful. So when I think of a historic car that I want to see over and over again, that's the one. I always default to that car. So I'm happy that they're making that. Again, other companies have made it in the past. It's not a new thing. Uh, but yeah, when it comes to like icons and stuff like that, like I don't even default to road cars. I just always my mind always goes to Formula One. Oh, what's my favorite era? What's my favorite car? For road cars, I don't know what it would be, to be honest. Like historically, what means anything to me? Like it's hard to pinpoint, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah,
Like I'm
it's
trying to
different.
think now on the top of my head, like what stands out to me, and I can't. Like I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of a specific car or era that means something to me.
Yeah. Well, we'll circle back. Marty,
Yeah.
what's your legend?
Well, so I mean, I go back to I love Porsche 917s. I just think they're beautiful cars. Um, Massimo will appreciate this one. The Ferrari M12, or the 512M that Slotted released. I think there was a lot of hype around that and expectation, and they kind of nailed it. That's a beautiful car. Um, but the Shadow for me, I mean, I shared in my story was my next door neighbor had it in HO. This would have been late 70s, probably 79 or 80 maybe. Well, probably maybe a little earlier than that. But and he brought it over and we played with it, and he wouldn't let me touch it. And I was like, oh, I was enamored by that car, and I thought it was cool that the car had its own logo. It's kind of it kind of had its own stigma, and the fact that it won 4 out of 5 races. I go back to date. I remember when they announced MR Slot Car put out the video that they were doing the Shadow. It was during the Super Bowl of 2022, so it was like February, I don't know, 3rd or 13th or something like that. I don't know. Massimo, did you help him with that video?
Yeah, I shot that one for him.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But I remember Dave, like right after the Super Bowl was over, he released a
Jumped
video
right in,
talking
yeah.
about. Yeah, man, and I was like, that is so awesome because that's exciting to see. And then I think it had so much hype because we had gosh, almost 18 months before. Well, actually, yes, 18 months before it released. So we were getting updates and again, lots and lots of hype around it. And that's because of social media. Go back 10 years and the car would never have had that much hype as a slot car, right? Because of social media, it just wasn't that into it. But man, they nailed it. And I think this is going to set a high bar for other companies putting out classic, cars like this that have a rich history. And I just think that those are all really iconic. But that's those early cars. I mean, we have iconic cars that are coming out now that are new, only a few years old. And so I think that just we have to create cars that reach multiple generations. So that's what's exciting about it.
And George, you have some history in like rail cars too. Like you got your collection, right? You have a GTO, right? Is it?
Yeah, so Mr. Jim Wangers was the ad man for Pontiac. So I don't know if you know who he was. He was the guy that actually put the GTO advertisement on the map, and he did a lot of drag racing stuff that really got a lot of the East Coast more into the drag racing, because racing really came from California because the weather, and then a lot of Army recruits that left the military, and then a lot of surplus of vehicles, and that's where kind of hot rodding in a way started. I'm not trying to say the East Coast wasn't involved, but a lot of it was California. But Jim Wangers passed away 2 days ago, and I did meet him, had a good conversation with him, very knowledgeable on cars. He signed my my glove box on my car, and that was in 2013. and it was nice talking to him. But if you look him up, he has a book. I can't remember the name of the book. I have his book that he wrote about the time when drag racing kind of like developed, around his area. And this is in his book. This is a true story. He was typing for a paper, and there was a guy behind him who was really annoyed by the job. And he says, "You know what? I gotta get out of here and do something on my own." And that guy was Hugh Hefner, of all people. But it's a good book. I can't remember the name of it, but Jim Wangers is his name. That's how I kind of with that I posted that. I guess you saw that post on my personal Facebook page. So.
Yeah.
But, as far as going back, sorry to get off the subject. As far as going back to, how'd you say cars legendary? You got to also remember it's the part of the world where everybody grew up on, like you said, Africa, Canada, and then you have us on this side, United States, what we dealt with, what we had, and the same thing with Slaughter, how he explains about what they call hot rod in Britain. So, I mean, all over the world, everybody has a different idea of what a legendary car is. Now, are we just talking about legendary slot cars, or we're talking about all slot cars?
So this is where we started with talking about cars, but now we talk about slot cars. So when you come to the slot car world, the Shadow is taking the world by storm. Why? That's the question, right? You have to ask yourself, why is this car suddenly so popular? Everybody wants it. Everyone wants to talk about it.
Because a lot of people associated it when they were young as a kid. My example, that Shadow, and I couldn't find it, Marty. I have that Shadow, that AFX Shadow. It's downstairs in the box somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll dig it out later. But I do
That's
have
awesome.
it, the little black one. And I got that on eBay because I was like, yeah, I got to get that, even though if I don't run it, I don't care. So I have that downstairs. That associates them with, when they grew up. I remember that car, and HO AFX. There's a lot of AFX cars I remember, Mustangs and all that, and Challengers. They had a plethora of cars. Legendary. The reason why the Shadow is well known is because it has to do with youth. Because a lot of people remember that car in that era, the 70s. They remember that as a kid. The reason why it's hyped up is because it's something that nobody's really done except for Vanquish, and Vanquish did it so many years ago. So it's kind of like a big gap that nobody's done a car like that. That's what made it hype. Now, if you want to get into the longevity of cars that have been around a long time, I could tell you the Carrera NASCAR is one of them. Because how old do you think that car is, that mold?
I don't know.
It's like over 20 years, right?
It's it's about 20 years. I think 2003 it came out. Now it's 2023. That is the longevity, longest running mold from Carrera, even though they don't sell American cars. That thing is always coming up. And then there's also the Scalextric Trans Ams. Those have been around a long time, and everybody loves those cars all over the world. And then you have the first people who really put the cars first with high super detail was those Vipers, the Fly Vipers. That's what started to get all the other industries and all the other car manufacturers to go, whoa, we got to step up our game, because Fly did. Even though they ran like crap, it didn't matter. The car was gorgeous, People bought them. I mean, you look at longevity. I mean, those cars have been around a while. But like you said, the Shadow is because nobody has made one, really. To be honest, that's what made it a hype. When you haven't made a car in a while, or haven't made one yet, that's what gets exciting. Because, the NASCAR, what's nice about it is that you can make different drivers. So that's what makes it more appealing too. Because, I mean, you see all the ones I have on my table right now. I got like 20 of the damn things, and there's more out there that I could get that are not available at the moment. I try and grab them when I can. It's just real. To me, those are legendary cars, because those are a lot of legendary drivers, because they drove those cars the same way with the other, like all other Formula cars. Those people literally drove by the seat of their pants. Formula One never really had safety in the early days. It was, they never wore seatbelts because they didn't want to burn to death. They'd rather jump out and escape the fire. That's why half of them never wore seatbelts. It's just, it took a matter of time of so many important deaths, like, Ayrton Senna and Niki Lauda's fire, to start realizing, hey, you need to wear safety in the cars. But those guys right there, it's like John Albright, I think he said the drivers are what make them legendary too, because And those guys they had a lot of Kanakas to drive something like that. And I posted videos on Home Racing World of a NASCAR 70s, and the guy's hauling the wheel like this. It's like, that's pretty scary, you know. I wouldn't feel too comfortable with a suspension like that, but that's how they drove them. And it's crazy. So, I mean, that's to me, that's what's legendary, is the driver and the car that came with the driver and the events that they were at. And again, like I said, Formula One, you know, rally racing, those guys are even crazy too. I've put videos on rally racing where the, you know, the co-driver is giving them directions. Then when he almost wipes out, you know, you hear him comment, "Oh, that was a close one." You know, that's pretty scary, especially when you have no control. Having that person next to you with your, you know, his life in your hands because he's driving, and also he's directing him where to go. So there's always very different stages of, I think, of what legendary is. It's, you know, Formula One, rally racing, NASCAR. I mean, Can-Am. There's so many of them. But with the Shadow, I think it was because it hadn't been made in so long since Vanquish, which, I mean, they didn't run great. I mean, little work they would, but I have one, and it's in my living room as a decoration because that car is a shelf queen. And I've showed you that, you guys, that car, the MK2. I'll never put that on the track. I only did it once, and that was it. But my reasoning being that the Shadow hasn't been made in such a long time is what really hyped it up, because when I saw that car, I was like, yeah, that's on my list. Period.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so yeah, it's so hard to pick legendary cars, but let's talk about slot cars. So we know the Shadow is currently what is dominating in terms of the Scotties, right? So people talk about the Scotty Awards as slot car of the year. But you know, can you rewind and tell us when's the last slot car that you remember being, you know, of this stature?
I would say the fly cars were the ones that were impactful. And I got this information from somebody else because personally I didn't really look at the fly cars. So I think the fly, when Fly came out with their Vipers and the way they were highly detailed, I think that made everybody, all the other companies, realize, well, we better do something or we're just going to get ran over in sales. Because even though, like I said, the cars ran like crap, with somebody in capable hands of actually fixing all that, which Harry is one of them because he's got several articles that are archived on what to do to those cars, not videos, articles before videography.
Yeah,
that's I think was a big impact to wake the industry up, because it was, I think it was stagnant with the way they made cars until Fly came out and presented these beautiful, highly detailed cars, and then it just woke the rest of everybody up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that time frame, you can really see everyone starting to step up their game when it comes to details in a car, and like the realistic shape in trying to be true to the real car, the one-to-one car. So I think that was a big plus.
Yep.
Yeah, so for myself, like I said, when I look at slot cars, I don't see them historically as much. Maybe I gravitate to like the Colin McRae Subaru WRX, or I see like a UL Kankonen's Toyota Celica. You know, those cars will grab my attention because, just like you guys, I grew up around those cars. I actually raced a rally car, so you know, you get hooked into that genre, right? And I think that's the key here, is the genre of cars that you knew as youth. Now, when I used to go to SEMA, I don't know if you know Miles Kovac, but he's the person that started Dub magazine. And at SEMA, I got a chance to spend an afternoon with Miles Kovac. And one thing that he said to me, and the reason why Dub became what it wasn't because of the magazine. It was because of the toy cars that they made. Because by making those toy cars, they imprinted that into the youth. And as they grew older, they picked up the magazine because they could relate to that car. And as they grew older and they could afford a car, they emulated the cars from the magazines. And that's what made Dub what it was. And the same thing you can see now in slot cars. It's the imprinting from youth. You remember the AFX Shadow. You grow up, you watch it race. You grow up to a point where you can't afford to buy that car, or you can, but your ability to own that piece of history is presented to yourself in a package that is 1-to-1 to scale, and something that you love to do, which is slot cars, and that's what makes it successful, right? It's really about imprinting, and it's interesting to see that happen in front of, right, like now, when there's so much opportunity to get distracted by so many other cars, right? So it's been pretty interesting watching the Shadow take off. And I know Ernie too, so for us it's a little bit extra because we get to actually talk to Ernie and see, we know the person that created this car, so I guess there's that connection too, right? And maybe MP can talk about that. I mean, you videoed it you created a video for the Shadow long before, a year before it was even a reality. So talk about that experience with Ernie.
Well, like you, when he came to me and told me before anyone knew, he told, I guess, a few people, but he's like, oh, I'm making the Shadow. It's my next car. When he said that, I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know which car the Shadow was until I looked it up, and I remember, okay, I know this car. I just didn't remember it by name. I wasn't big on Can-Am, but once I saw the car, I knew the car. And when he said he was making that, I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I saw the front end, and that was my first thought. I'm like, how is he going to make this true to scale, like in a slot car? Because that front end is low. So it was cool going to Ernie's and seeing the CAD drawings and everything. Every time I went there, he made changes. Something changed. Oh, look at this change I made. Look at this change. That guy went through so many changes just to get it right. And the car in general, too. You want to get the proportions right. He had like some, I think, 1/18 scale models that he brought to a place to get 3D scans and then downsized it to the 1/32 scale. He wanted to get everything perfect. He didn't want to leave anything, no stone unturned. And he did that. I think that car is perfect. Dave Kennedy's video too, he mentioned that it was true to scale. Like someone actually checked it out next to the real car, and it was true to scale. And so Ernie did a phenomenal job. And yeah, it was cool behind the scenes seeing that, like the drawings and sketch. That's the first time I've seen anything like that. How much work goes into these little things, and it was pretty cool to see the finished product and all the blood, sweat, and tears that Ernie put into it, and seeing that everyone's happy. Like everyone loves the car. It's a great running car, great looking car, and that guy's innovative. And yeah, it's
right.
I don't know, he killed it.
Yeah,
sure did.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question, and don't shoot me, but what happens if he releases this car in different liveries? Like, a very famous thing that people do is take a car and release in Golf livery, Martini livery. Like...
Well, you need a running mate for it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if he made a running mate for it, or raced against it.
Yeah.
Different liveries, I'd still buy it. It's a great car.
I would too. Like, I want to see it in a Golf livery. I want to see it in a Martini livery. I want to own them in all Jägermeister. I'm just thinking, like, the one livery I really want to see is the Jägermeister livery. Like, it's cool, But, the purists, I don't know how people react to that. So that's a good question to just put out.
Yeah, I know purists. I know what a purist is. In the automotive world, there are purists.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that...
I think.
Go ahead.
What was
Marty.
that, Massimo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, you have other companies doing golf liveries on everything, and they're popular. John Player liveries on cars that never had John Player livery. So I think that people are nostalgic about those liveries. And so I think it's I don't think it'll be a small percentage of slot car enthusiasts that will be upset if there is a golf livery of the Shadow. I think the majority of people will go, heck yeah, I love golf livery, anything. So and like from a personal, like from a business standpoint, I want Ernie to have an opportunity to make his money back because it's such a passion project. The Shadow is, and he gave it to the slot car world. I want him to have the ability to make some money off of it. So yeah, release whatever livery you want.
And
It'll
the
go
thing
great.
with that is that he can, because he made that guide design. You know how many cars that have that swoop that he could do now? That's
Oh,
a
I know.
real game changer right there. That's going to really help him to develop, cars that have that nose that go down like that. That guide is just fantastic. It's a real smart what he did. That's what makes the
Yeah.
car work so well.
Yeah, 100%. Like I've been speaking to Ernie, and he's excited. Like he's a real slot car. He's just an enthusiast, and he likes to capture everything to scale. Like his quest for perfection is pretty incredible because there's some insight into stuff that's coming, and I'm like, wow. Like he does a lot of homework. Like Ernie does the homework. So it's really, really cool to see. And so I was just curious, what people's take was on different liveries. So let's talk about cars that you would like to see, or the car that you think is going to make the next big impact. If you guys are aware of what's coming out. Come on,
I think that, I know what's going to be big. But they jumped the price up on it, so maybe it'll calm it down. The Pink Pig in 917 from NSR, that's going to be a big that will sell out fast.
Okay, the old edition or the latest version of the 911 RSR, or the original Pink Pig?
No, the nine. They're making a 917.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The short tail, the K mean.
Yeah. The short tail.
That was long tail.
Yeah, I think I think the new Le Mans Porsche might be a big one too. The 919 Le Mans, that's coming out as well. I like that, but it's hard to pick the next car. But just that's what we're doing tonight. We're talking about an explosive topic. Like I said, there's no right answers. There's no wrong answers. There's just opinions, and it's opinions don't really matter much, until we actually see the car, hold the car, feel the car. And I think that's what the Shadow is doing. It's just delivering on every level. So. I would love to see the Le Mans 919 Porsche. That's one car that I'm looking forward to. Like I said, I don't have a lot of history with a lot of the older Can-Am or those kind of cars. Even F1, I'm not as versed as Massimo is with F1. But I do, like my history comes from the rally world, and even that now it's all changed. I don't even follow rally anymore. So it's interesting to see. So MP, what's your pick for next car?
One that I'm looking forward to, I'm not sure, it might be some people like it, some people don't, but the Ken Block cars that are coming out.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see those. The renderings and the models I've seen, they look really good. So I'm actually pretty excited about those.
Yeah, so my fear with the Ken Block cars, definitely going to collect them, but will I run them? That's the question, because it looks so detailed, and that intricate design on the motors and the nice turbo sticking up. Like that's something I pick up. I might run in private, but I don't see it at a racetrack near me. You know what I mean?
Well, you can just pull a Marty.
Exactly. But like the Shadow is a car that I was gonna pick up and run no matter what. Like. And I guess maybe if you picked up a bunch of the Hoonigans, but they are only 3D printed, right? They're not really being released with painted livery, so you have to paint them up yourself. You have to decal them yourself. So it's not really a stock car that's being released, as a finished model, right? It's a very hobby-related car.
There's some assembly required.
Yeah.
See, I think that's what's going to cause a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, not a problem, but I think that that will limit how popular that car will be. As much as I love them, I think they're amazing. That hill climb, the Pikes Peak hill climb, I forget what the nickname is. That's sort of like a pink pig type
Yeah, yeah,
laser.
yeah.
That car,
The
that
Honey
car is
Pig.
amazing.
That's
Yeah, the
pretty.
Honey Pig. That thing is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
But it limits the number of people who will be able to, because not all of us are like custom builders like George. I might want to be, but I'm not to that level. And so it might be intimidating for a lot of people to jump into those cars, even though they might want them because they're big Ken Block fans. So
Yeah.
I think that until somebody like Thunderslot or NSR or Slotted or one of those companies negotiates for the licensing agreement and makes those cars, I think that the popularity will be very limited. It will be a select group of like fanatics, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's my concern until
Yeah.
another company picks them up, like, or even if Carrera did it. I mean, they do such great detail on their bodies. Like that would be a gigantic hit for Carrera if they grabbed one of those Hoonigan cars.
Yeah, so Sean Casey says Collector will do a Ken Block car soon. I forget Area 50, Area 71, but I think he says that bodies are very rough to finish. We'll see. I have never owned a Area 71 car, so I've never seen it in person.
The 3D printed cars, they're really robust. I mean, you got to put a lot of work into them, I'm sure. Like any 3D car, you have to get the, get it down.
Right.
Yeah, so Sunday Slot Cars brought something up, and I think it's important to talk about. It's that new Carrera truck that's the track cleaner. I'd see that as being a pretty big seller this year, no matter what, because
I agree.
everybody needs something to clean their track. And the fact that someone's actually released a stock car that finally does that, I see that being as a big seller. Now, I don't know if he's gonna win any Scotty or but Carrera doesn't really rank very high on the Scotty world of winning awards. I don't think. I was just looking at the past 3 years of Scotties. We had last year was the Ferrari 512M, right? The year before that was, I believe,
the Jaguar.
the Jaguar, right?
I think so. I could be wrong.
So the MR slot car Jaguar,
Yeah.
right?
Nice car.
This guy. And then the year before that, wasn't it the Legends? Or was it the same year? I forget.
No, I think it was Legends. I think you're right.
Yeah, it was the Legends in the Golf livery. I remember Harry showing that off. And that's as far back as my memory goes in Scotty's, because that's when I started looking at slot cars. But I don't see a lot of, Carrera and Scalectri do release a lot of cars, and they do release a lot of movie cars, and they do release a lot of cars that are very relevant to the genres that they're going after, the Back to the Future cars and stuff. But and even if they released a Ken Block car, my problem with Carrera is the fit and finish is not as good as, let's just say, a Riva slot, right? Like when you look at a Riva slot body next to Carrera body, next to Scalectri body, Scalectri does have a lot of detail, but then the Riva slot, it's just another level. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do with the Ken Block car, how detailed it is. Obviously, the one that we're seeing from Area 71 has the engine, has all the details, and you can pull it apart and you can see it. Whether Scalectri will follow that, we don't know, right? So, be interesting. Sunday Slot Car brings up something up that I think that I will be picking up 2 probably of these trucks, because I'm might as well have 2 run at the same time. Why not? I don't know. We'll see.
Clean your track extra fast.
Yeah, it's Carrera too, so I'm still a big Carrera fanboy. So anyway, what else is there? Yeah, so George, when we're talking about future cars coming out, which one would you look forward to?
Well, probably being a dead horse with it. Probably the Ken Miles car. It is coming out soon.
Yeah.
Probably because a lot of people associate it with it that have seen Ferrari, Ferrari versus Ford versus Ferrari. Now you can get your P3 and spin around the track with your GT Miles car.
Yeah.
Right.
That's probably what I'm looking forward to because I have the Hulme car, the number 5 gold one, and then there's also the black one, the Eamon one, but that one's real expensive. So, but it's that one I'm looking forward to, and then the Polycar, the 80s Polycar F1s that are coming out soon. Looking forward to those. I like the one I got, a Long Beach one. So as far as that goes, is that the cadets and all the other things that Revo makes, I'm probably gonna hold off on those. I mean,
Yeah.
they look pretty cool, but it's not something that I don't know. It's everybody has a certain taste, So some people like it, some people don't. It's not like I don't like them. I don't really need them. I got the other ones and I'm happy with them. The
Right.
Alpha and the Ford Escort. So.
Yeah.
But like they said before, they're fun little rascals. They get around the track. They're fun cars to drive. And see something small like that whip around is very entertaining.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So for myself, I like I said, the 919, the F1s. I think collecting F1s is always a cool thing to do. I've been trying to collect them, but Massimo's the king of F1 in my opinion. So like, it's hard to. He picks up F1 cars like water all the time. Maybe I have to go visit him more often.
I still have all these ones here
Oh
from the
god.
eBay.
Yeah, Slot Car Dude has your 1/24th scale chassis. You can buy it straight.
The German one made in Germany.
Yeah.
Nice chassis. I have a German-made one, the Toyota 1/24th. It's a nice car. It's very adjustable. And they only run urethane over there. They hate silicone in Germany, from what I understand. They like urethane more.
Yeah, for sure. The finger detail is in the eye of the beholder. We understand that. Like I said, everything here is just our opinions. It's nothing set in stone. Like I said, this is an explosive topic because you could offend a lot of people by naming a car, and then they're like, "Well, you didn't name this car." And the truth is, if you're a car guy, there's no end to this topic, right? You can talk about this topic for hours. If you're a person that doesn't even know cars, you'd be like, "What are you guys talking about?" Right? It's like that's the truth. So you can go deep into the rabbit hole here, but what we're trying to do is just figure out, what made the Shadow stand out. That was my main purpose tonight. Is like, why is it so important? Because I didn't know anything about this car, and normally iconic cars, you know about them. The GT40s, you know about it. I knew about the GT40, even though I was not into the hype. I knew about the Ferraris, even though I was not into hype because it dominated an era, right? But the Shadow came out for 1 year. It did this crazy thing in 1 year and then disappeared. And then I was like, why has it got such a following? What's the cult phenomenon that's the Shadow, right? So
I think movie cars are a real big one too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like Ronan earlier in the chat said the '66 Batmobile. That's another one too. What movie or TV car is going to come out that people want? I know Scale Electric seems to be on that one a little bit, but that's kind of like the next thing. But that's one thing right there. Movie cars is a whole different category now. Some of the legendary stock cars.
Yeah. The thing is, betting Massimo has Ferrari themed jammies. I don't doubt it.
That's great.
Yeah, Kirby Road is right. Beautiful car is a beautiful car. I think
that's right.
George, you bought 2 McLarens over the past week because you just loved the car, right? The same thing as me. As soon as I saw the blue McLaren, I was like, I need to have that car.
So Harry put that in the. See, this is why I like photography. It's best to take it before dusk and before dawn because that's the perfect lighting.
Yeah.
And he put that actually in the perfect lighting, and that's why he did that. You can see the colors, man. They pop. Yeah. They really pop. It's like, whoa, your eyes are like this. That's what really kind of sold me to get. I'm like, okay, I gotta get two of those.
Yeah,
they're just too nice to pass up.
yeah,
They are
100%.
beautiful, man.
Well, it's like the
And you know they'll
Ferrari.
be good runners.
Yeah, it's like the Riva Slot Momos, the silver and the red one. Like I'm dying for that car. It's on order. It's been on order for a while, but like that car just resonated with me because one, my favorite car of all time is the F40. It always has been, and I want to collect as many of those as I can, and I keep on collecting them. So, just the liveries that came out from Riverstart just appealed to me, and that was it. Even though I align as a Porsche guy, I have a thing for the F40. So,
Yeah.
You didn't want the Benetton one?
no, I don't like the multicolored one. Yeah, the Can-Am was a world by itself. To this very day, no other car can compare. Yeah.
So we can reverse this. Talk about stock cars we hate or don't like.
All right, there we go,
You
George.
always go
Go
that
ahead.
route, too.
You
Watch
brought
the
it up.
Jackson blow up with that. I hate this car. I can't stand this car.
All right, go for it, George. Start it off.
I would say the Mr. Bean car. I think is ridiculous. I think it's a stupid ass car. I'm sorry.
When I mention my car, the whole chat's gonna hate
Yeah.
me. I got
Sorry,
one.
man, if I make anybody mad, but I think that's just I mean, if you grew up with Mr. Bean and you're from England, I can understand that. But that one, I don't know. That's even the Blues Brother one with the big thing on the top. I think that's kind of a little bit,
Oh no.
outrageous, man. I do like the Blues Brothers, but without the damn speaker on top of the car. So there's my two right there.
I have to avoid Boone's phone call. He says, "Oh, it looks like I'm gonna need to have a chat with you, buddy." Uh-oh. I'm in trouble already. Oh no. Yes. Okay. So George doesn't like the Mr. Bean car. Marty, put you on the spot.
Oh gosh. Again, I'm a sucker for the older cars. So sometimes I don't get excited about like the brand new cars, but I'm super excited about the new hyper cars that a handful of companies are producing. So, but like I honestly I did not get into like the GT cars, and then now I'm starting to like fall in love with some of them because they're growing on me. Mainly because I'm watching a lot more of it on TV and have access to that. So I don't really have. I'm with George on the Mr. Bean car. I just thought that was crazy. And like pull him off, and you'd have a cool slot car. But I get what Scalextrics is doing. I know the movie cars are big from a collector standpoint, so I don't fault them for that. But it's like everybody has to raise their bridges just for Mr. Bean to get under on their layouts.
They should make. You remember Rocket Man, the movie Rocket Man?
Yeah.
They should make one of him then on top of the French car, the orange one. I don't know if they do that.
That's right.
That'd be a running mate for Mr. Bean,
That's That's right.
Okay, so Massimo, what's the car you don't like?
Car I don't like.
I guess we're gonna preface this by saying 132nd because
132nd
that's what we're talking about right now.
Well, like going on along with the theme, yeah. Like I like the appeal of the movie cars because, like you guys just said it, as a collector standpoint, it's cool to have. But I never run the Mr. Bean car, but there's one at Ernie's, and it's been sitting there since it got released. And I look at it every time because I used to like Mr. Bean, but I'm like, that car it's ridiculous. If I'm gonna keep it in the box, I would like this to drive it once, but again, like Marty said, it'll smash right into my bridge, and Mr. Bean's dead. Like,
yeah,
that's right.
He'd be beanless.
It would be beanless.
He'll never survive it.
And I don't want to do that to the guy. I like him. So
yeah,
funny.
In terms of like handling cars, like cars that I've driven that I didn't enjoy driving, that Mirage I had. I don't know if you bought that one for me.
The Le Mans miniatures.
Yeah, it looked amazing, but it drove terrible.
Yeah, that's how they are. They're beautiful cars, but it's like a flag car, but they're terrible. It's a model. It's basically a static model that kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. They look amazing. Very nice detail, but drove very bad.
This thing.
You'd be afraid to drive that.
Yeah. So you didn't like this car?
No, I love the car. Just driving, I drove it about one time at Ernie's just to see how it
Yeah.
drove, and it was terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, people are gonna hate me when I say this, but I don't like the Mario Kart stuff.
Oh, okay. No, that's good.
I
That's
don't
fair.
like any of those, like,
The Minions.
yeah, like when I'm talking 1/32, like when the Mario stuff, and I understand what they're doing, and I understand the crowd they're going for, 100%, I get it, but just for me, I just can't. I can't justify putting that on my track. That's why I've never bought them. I've had lots of opportunity to pick them up, and it's also because I'm not a gamer, so I've never played that game, and then even my friends are not into that kind of stuff. So I guess, like, for me, they just didn't appeal to me. So yeah.
Maybe you should
What's the matter
Warhammer
with
them out. They would look cool.
Huh?
You should Warhammer them out. They probably look cool.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's the one thing that
Watching
also
it,
it also discouraged me from doing the Warhammer stuff too. Like I said, bringing that to the track. I'm like, that's why I had to ask myself many times: do I want to do this? Do I want to bring Warhammer to the track? I struggle with that before I've taken this dive, and the problem with me is once I made up my mind, I'm gone. I'm in. Like, you
Right.
can't stop me. Once it's in my head, and it's done. So there's nobody stopping me. But before I got there, ask Boone how many times we had this conversation. Yeah.
Let's Car Dojo puts the station wagon from National Lampoon Vacation. The Family Queen Truckster, I think it was called, in metallic P.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, everyone's got an opinion about cars, right? You can't.
Right.
You'll never satisfy anyone. But at the end of the day, we're collectors, and everyone collects what appeals to them. So that's the bottom line. But it's just so interesting that the Shadow appealed to so many in a broad audience, and I think that's what was the key to this whole discussion. It's like, I've never seen a car that has come out with so much positivity across the board, and everybody who's picked it up, everyone that's handled it, everyone that has been, like, you always see, like, there's lots of cars that come out that everyone is excited about, but not like this, where it's been across the board the same way. I feel everybody that I've seen, every video I've watched, and I've watched a ton of the videos about the Shadow, it's just been positive. And it's rare. Like, there's always, I find it really interesting. And so we want more of that, I think. And that's what the slot car world wants, is we want to have this repeat itself. Ratfing slot cars. Yeah.
Here's another one. Here's another subject. What car would you make if you could build? Well, this is where it goes to the scratch building part, because what would you want to make? Here's a good question. What car would you want to make if a kit was available and you could modify it to do that?
George, the car that I really want to make is the Hellefont. So I don't know if you've seen it, but it's an old school Charger with 426 supercharged engine in it. And that car fully slammed. It's the reason why I pick up cars like this.
Is it?
The reason I pick up cars like this where they're slammed. I like classic cars with modern interiors. So, like, the 70s Charger with a Hellcat interior is like my favorite car of all time. If I had endless funds and I could pick one car, it wouldn't be any supercar. It would be a 70s Charger with a modern interior and a modern power plant. Right. That's just me. Yeah. MPR up.
What was the question?
If you could build one, what would you build?
If I can build one.
Anything. If something
Block car.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. It'd be cool. Growing up, my dad had this 1979 Alfa Romeo GTV, and he brought it from Italy. Like he brought it from Cosenza. He brought it over to the States, picked it up in New York, and drove it over. It was the only one in North America with steel bumpers because the ones that they brought here had plastic bumpers. So he was the only one with it. I grew up with that car, loved it. And it was always, that car's going to be mine. He's like, oh, when you grow up, the car's going to be yours. The car's going to be yours. In 2014, he sold the car. And
Oh wow.
I actually learned how to drive standard on that car too. So I loved that car. And when I bring it up to him, why'd you sell that car? He's like, oh, it was carburetor. You wouldn't have, it would have been too much work for him. Like I could have converted that to direct injection if I really wanted to. Like, it's possible. He's like, oh, you could have done that? I'm like, oh my God. So that car is gone. So I think it would be cool. Like, I don't think it would sell, but if I could make one for myself, I think I would like to make that car.
See, that's cool. I like that. That's something different. This is what I mean about it. You can make something different.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this. What I was asking.
Yeah. George, which car would you make? Well, you make cars all the time, but which one? Which one's coming out of the Area 51 factory next?
It'll be the Michael Keaton Batmobile. That one.
Nice.
Oh, yeah?
I like
Nice.
that car.
That's awesome.
I think it's a cool car. I think it'd look cool down the track. So
Yeah.
I'm going to make it a point where it has lights and flames if I can somehow make it work. So
Yeah.
there's so many of them. I mean, there's so many like NASCARs you can make and hot rods, and like right now I'm building more hot rods because of the hot rod series. That's something that I think is fun. It's a little bit more work, but those are a lot of fun to build because when they're done, you're like you see what they are. They're very specifically individualized because they're hot rods, like John Albright pointed out. He made a comment they're ready to run hot rods and stuff. But yeah, but I got plenty of kits up there because there's some other modified cars up there that I want to make too. So it's some limited. That's why I like that part of it.
Slot Car Dojo wants a Wraith. You're talking about the
You know what he's
Bentley.
talking about? That's the Dodge prototype car. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's the grayish.
Because
like,
when he said Wraith, I was thinking Rolls Royce. I was like, he wants a Rolls Royce Wraith? What?
Let me look it up. I can't remember. It was an actual prototype car. I can't remember what it was. I'll look it up. Somebody will probably get there before I can.
Marty, you're up.
So I'm with Gene. My very first car, this slot car, if anybody chooses to make it, will sell about 4 worldwide. My very first car was a 1970 Maverick, and I'd give anything to have that car back because some guys have built some amazing cars here recently off of the Maverick line, and they look fantastic. They basically have made like what's the autocross cars out of them, and they're suspension, and they just have done an awesome job. So yeah, I think I would love to scratch build. I just need to track down a body. It's funny, I mentioned it, and Shotgun Dave is like, "Oh, I think we could make that happen." And then a couple days later, somebody sent me an actual a body that's out there of a Maverick. So yeah, that one of my first scratch builds will be to build that Maverick.
That'd be cool. I'd like to see it.
Nice.
My brother,
Yeah.
I knew the Maverick was coming.
It's called the Dodge M4S Turbo Interceptor PP.
This one that's on screen right now.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's a cool car.
Different.
That's cool. All right. So we've gone through that. Gone through the cars we like, the cars we don't like, the cars we want to come out. What else have we talked about tonight? About cars.
I mean, I'm just thankful that we're getting the cars that we're getting, the quality of slot cars. I mean, I think we have a
Yeah.
ton of choice, and with some amazing builds. And I'm excited about what Thunder Slot's going to do with the Mustang chassis, the GT350, and all of the line of cars they can create using that chassis. I think there's exciting times to be in the hobby if you are a car enthusiast. I think we've got the potential to have some great cars coming. You know, what's next for the Shadow chassis and that design, and I think that there's some awesome things that we haven't even thought of um, from a performance standpoint. You know, I think there are some companies that have done cars over the years that just didn't perform well, but we have performance companies building new cars like the GT350 from Thunder Slot. I think that's a great platform to build off of. So that's what I'm excited about.
Excellent. Let's see.
Yeah, it's cool. Pinto. Who's going to Pinto?
Dusty, did he say that? Dusty wants a
No, the
Mustang
Finger
too.
said it earlier. He said my mom's Pinto station wagon. So let's say odd cars that you have owned. How's that? Actual cars that you just lemon cars. I don't know. I'm trying to bring something up. I'm just trying to.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Cars in real life, I don't know. I've gone through quite a few, I'll be honest. I used to go through a lot of cars. Now, not so much. Ever since I stopped racing, ever since I gave up my performance shop, I don't really look at cars. I try not to. I look at slot cars. That's what I do now. But yeah, it's difficult. I don't know. But you know, a car that I really want to see is a VW Beetle. I mean, I grew up with those in Kenya. They were all over the place. So I'd love to see a VW Beetle. They give the Mini a lot of love, but I haven't seen a VW Beetle come out. So maybe that car. I mean, Herbie. Who doesn't remember Herbie? Come on.
I do. I think Scale Electric did come out with Volkswagens. They do have a few of them, I think.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
remember
pink. Is that what the name of it is? Pink car.
Yeah.
Pink car.
Yeah, they have
Oh,
Beetle.
It is. Yeah.
Marty, where did you get that one from?
It's not mine. It's John Mark's, and it
Oh.
sucks.
It doesn't matter. I just want one for my collection.
I think if it had some new tires, it might be a little better.
Yeah. So
Remember,
anyway,
if cars that bad, you could always throw a brass chassis under it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's to go along with this.
the bus. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I do like the VW buses. They're cool.
Yeah, they've been great.
Yeah. But I almost forgot to do this, so might as well get this done right now. I forgot that we're doing a giveaway tonight.
Oh yeah,
I almost slipped. So we're giving away the Detomasso Pantera. And remember, this was touched by MP. So this is a car that was touched and was run on MP's layout.
That was the one from Whatnot?
Yeah, it's the exact same one. I have not opened it since you shipped it to me, so I have not put my hands on this. This is brand just the way MP packed it. So, so this car is going off. We're gonna pick the winner right now. Here we go. Pick a winner. Must contain the word. Pick a winner.
Let's go.
Patrick Harper. Patrick Harper, you have won the Pantera. So if you are on the stream, or I will put it out in the results, and get in touch with me through the website, conquestgamingclub.com. Just reach out to me and say that you are the winner, and we will arrange to get this car shipped out to you. So thanks a lot, guys. I just wanted to get that done.
Congrats.
And we can go back.
All right. Congratulations, Patrick Harper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good car. The purple
Yeah.
one. I like.
Yeah. Though,
They
do you
look
have
fantastic.
do you have one of these, George?
Yeah, I have the purple one.
Yeah, I have the blue one. I got the blue one.
They're nice. I like them. They look real. They're very nicely detailed. Very beautiful.
Yeah. AE86. Yeah, we just built one in Lego. It was awesome. Got that in the other channel. But yeah, I love the 8086. That's for sure. Bugs and buses. Yeah, I need to get me a bug. I do want a VW bug because when I grew up, that's the car that transported me everywhere. My grandma had one, and then the 300 SEL, which was already to come out with Carrera. So we had those in our house growing up.
Those were popular all over the world. I think in Mexico, they produced them all the way to like 2015. I think.
Yeah.
They just made those cars because they were so easy to fix and not very expensive.
Yeah, growing up in Kenya, it was the Merc 300 SAL, the VW Beetle, the Datsun 120J. Like those are the cars that were popular and around. Like the Mercs dominated, and then the Peugeots came in, the 405, the 504 pickups. That's what came in and took over the market, and then Mitsubishi came in after that. And then when the rallies used to come in, then we got a lot of Toyotas. And that's when the Celica was dominating rally, then they became very popular as well. It seemed like every time a manufacturer won the East African Safari Rally, the car would just dominate, would be like the car that would be picked up by everyone over the next couple of years. So if you wanted to sell cars in Kenya, you needed to win the East African Safari Rally. Otherwise, your car wasn't selling that well. Yeah. Anyway, that's how it operated. But yeah, I mean, I think we had a decent chat tonight. Wasn't anything serious. We're back to slot cars and stuff that makes us go nuts. Track building. Yeah, it's I've left the DDT up. I haven't put the Lego City in place, but I have to build the front half of that track, and that's all. It's a pretty big undertaking right now, so we'll see how that goes. I even bought new RCs, but I haven't had time to put them together, and I'm also trying to paint all the models that I got from Run Trackside. So I got I'm up to. I have enough content to work on right now without even looking at cars, which is a good thing maybe, but we'll see. I see Marty just tuning cars. He's always tuning now.
Patrick Harper's in the chat. He just
Congrats, Patrick.
Congrats.
Congrats, Patrick. So reach out to me. If you want, you can just email me at conquestracingclub@gmail.com. So conquestracingclub@gmail.com. Just email me, Patrick, and we'll get your details and get the car shipped out to you this week. So shipping normally happens it will ship out the following week on Monday. That's when we ship out. So I'll get that shipped out to you as soon as possible. Yeah. So Massimo, anything you want to capture for the next week? Anything happening? Anything exciting you want to talk about?
For the upcoming week, no, nothing really. I'm going to go by Ernie's maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. I'd like to stop by there, see what's going on. That winner on my stream for the Shadow, he's actually local, like fairly local. He's about maybe an hour and 40 minutes, 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So he was sending me videos of his track and everything. So I kind of want to, I mentioned it to you. He even invited us over to go check his track out. So maybe that's something we can plan. I'd like to go see what he has going on because his layout looks pretty cool.
That's awesome.
You just tell me when.
Yeah.
And we'll go.
Yeah,
no problems. I'm very easygoing. Don't worry. Like you just gotta tell me the date you want to go down to Ohio, and we'll just go. Show up at Marty's door. Hey, I'm here to race.
Oh yeah, man. Let's make it happen. I'm serious.
Yeah. Travis
this summer
said,
for sure.
We will
Ron's
plan.
gonna come down and go, where'd these guys come from?
We'll plan a race day.
The
And have
cars.
some of the guys from Cincy Slots come up, and
That'd be
we'll
cool.
make a day.
Yep.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
Get more people involved. That's nice.
Yeah. Like yeah. Imagine Marty's wife comes down and says, "Now we're bringing in imports. What the hell?"
It's all good. I'll just make sure. I'll send her to visit kids in Colorado.
Anyway, yeah, for sure. Like we're planning to come down to the States. So Mass and myself made that commitment. Travis was saying on his live stream that he wants to come to North America before the end of the year. So I'm trying to say, if we can all come down at the same time, that'd be awesome.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. So that would be fun. Yeah, I think other than that, Marty, anything exciting? You're going racing this week. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's really just a test and tune. It's the first time on a wood track, so I'm excited. I need to talk to George about some tuning hints to get a couple cars ready. So, since he's got a wood track of his own.
Nice. George.
So yeah, I'm excited.
What cars are you going to bring?
All of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said all of them. So you taking the shelf with you too?
He's rolling his shelf.
Remember, those aren't mine. Those are John Mark's. He hides them here.
You don't know that. Just take them.
Oh, hopefully Kathy's not listening.
Oh. Okay. And George, how many cars are you rolling off your production line this week? That's what it is.
Hopefully I'll finish painting on one body I need to paint. I couldn't paint it, like I said, the weather wasn't good. I have one chassis I'm working on. Pretty much sized it up. I just got to put the body mounts on and paint it, put the motor on it and stuff. Just little things. So
yeah.
That's it.
I'm contemplating getting that 124 chassis, the F1 chassis from Germany. I want to get one now. It's in my mind. It's the carbon fiber. As soon as I saw the carbon fiber on it, I'm like, I have to have it. It's a problem with me, and carbon fiber is another thing. It's the same thing with my RC cars. Like the first time I picked up an RC car, it was fun, and then I saw the same chassis in carbon fiber, and I picked it up. And little did I know that nothing that came off the plastic one would fit on the carbon fiber, and yeah, it just led me down a long path of empty wallets. But anyway, yeah, I do want to pick up the F1 chassis. So Massimo, maybe we'll.
If you do, let me know. Like we'll
Yeah,
order
no.
together.
I was going to say that right now. When I order it, I'm just going to call you and be like, "How many do you want?" So
that'll make me pull the trigger. Otherwise, because right now I was looking, I'm like, yeah, that's nice, but I'm like, I'll wait. But then I know if you order one, I'm like, okay, let's order two.
that's what happened with the Omni slot box.
He's really bending your arm on that one, isn't he?
The Green Giant spoke, and then you put the Green Giant spoke about the Omni box, and then the next thing you know, Massimo was like, "I'm what?" And yeah, we were hooked. Yeah, you should meet halfway and put in Bay or Kelly's Island in Lake Erie. Maybe. I have no idea where these places are. Maybe you guys do. What's put in Bay or Kelly's Island in Lake Erie?
That's northern Ohio.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's in between Canada and you, so
Canada.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, like, the reason why I'd like to go down to Marty's because then we can go to Cincy and there's a lot of areas to visit around and it's nicer. If we were to pick a destination, we'd have to bring down track. We'd have to set up a track. We'd have to do it like a trade show. And maybe this eventually turns into something like a mini little trade show get together. But, first we got to start with the first meet, I always think. So,
Right.
yeah. Because it would
Could
be
be
nice
the
to meet a lot
North
more
America
people.
Slot Festival.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm missing out. I am chomping at the bit to fly to UK for Slot Fest, but I'm like, I am not going on my own. And yeah, so maybe next year or something. We'll see. Boone, I'd come to Texas. I love Texas. I'd come to Texas, but I'm afraid I might not come back from Texas with all your weird creatures that are out there. And that's me. So last time I was on Boone, they're talking about the brown recluse spider, and I decided I did the wrong thing and looked it up. I was like, no,
That's Australia.
no, in Austin, in Texas.
Oh, I'm thinking something else. Funnel web. Yeah,
Yeah.
you include.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was like, okay, I'm used to snakes. Like Kenya, we had snakes, but spiders and creepy crawlies like that, no thanks. It's okay. But
Slugguard Dojo says he's planning to
Further
go next
you go
year.
south, the bugs get bigger. Just so you know.
yeah,
This is true.
Slugguard Dojo is going next year. Sweet. Yeah, 24-hour race. I've never, and that's something that I was talking to Slugguard Dude, and they talked about endurance racing in Europe, and that's a big thing. But we don't seem to have that in North America, do we?
Just this past week.
did. Michigan, wasn't it? They just meant that's what he's mentioning. Steve Sweeney.
Okay. So they do.
Yeah,
It was.
Yes.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of endurance racing down here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't get. Ernie doesn't run anything endurance. I don't think. Yeah, but we're gonna run a team one, right, Massimo, with the 124s. We're looking at doing a little.
Yeah, I was
team
actually talking to Dave today. He called me about wanting to set up the next meet, so I think he's going to put it in our chat. But yeah, I think the next one we're going to actually set up like a championship and teams and start keeping track of points to make it a little bit more interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Nice. That was fun. Like, I'm really having fun. It's nice when you have a dedicated group of people that race, and are enthusiastic about it. And that's what's really cool about being in that digital 124. I don't think I'd be this excited about 124 cars if it wasn't for that. But yeah. Speaking about 124, did we pick up any of those 917s?
I ended up getting one, and then I have a silver one that I'm gonna give back to you.
Okay.
And
Martini one.
Martini, yeah. Silver Martini, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Martini and silver. I got all of them. That's why most of them.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah.
Road trip to George's house.
Yeah.
The Geisel, the Salzburg one, the what is it? The Gulf one, the Hippy Dippy one, the yellow one, the green one. The Hippy Dippy one, that yellow one, only came in a set. I got lucky getting that one. That one's a hard one to get.
Okay.
What is that? That's not the blue and green one I'm thinking
That's
of.
the red and yellow one, and they call it the hippie one.
Ah, okay.
That one only came.
Which one's the blue and green?
What's that again?
Isn't there a blue and green one like that too?
Yeah,
it looks like.
I have that one too. The yellow one was a hard one to get. And then this I'm trying to remember what else, but the silver one, like I said. But yeah, they're nice cars, and just some of them could be real expensive. They had a chrome one time. I saw one in eBay on Germany. It was all chrome. I wish I would have bought that. It was really nice, but it was really expensive. I was like,
I bet.
Should have, but it was really a gorgeous looking car. I was like, it seems that when you go to eBay in Germany, they have different versions that you don't have in North America.
They have the one-off liveries that we don't get here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course the Korea 50th anniversary ones, and yeah, those are real expensive too. But yeah, I got most of them except for those real rare ones. But
nice.
They're
one of the best looking cars, I think.
Yeah, the 917s. Oh, they're the best looking car. Period. Like, it's like every car. Every time you look at the 917, you pick it up. Like,
I think the Ferrari is a beautiful one. The two Ferraris that they have.
Yeah.
Like the 24. Those are like spectacularly gorgeous.
Which ones are those?
The 124 one, the P4, and the 512. Those are.
I wasn't into 124, so I never really picked up any 124s till recently. So I'm trying to play catch up, but it's difficult. The main problem is finding them, right? So, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So we're gonna do 124 racing. That'll be fun. Next week's topic is all the weird creatures we find around our neighborhood because that seems to be taking off. But yeah, and talking about next week, let us know if there's anything you want to discuss. I am doing that painting series. I will do the airbrushing probably tomorrow night to get the Zenithal down on those models. So that will be fun. I'm having fun doing those live streams. I know they're like the fingers stays on to watch paint dry, but I appreciate it. But it was fun. And yeah, I appreciate all these chats as well. Yeah. So thank you so much for everyone that attended in the chat. Thank you for taking the journey with us on every Monday evening at 7. Appreciate it. And until next week, have fun and congratulations once again to Patrick Harper, who is the winner of the Detomasso. And at 1,000, I'll give away 2 cars. I don't know. Should I break the trend of giving away Carrera cars or just continue?
That's up to you.
Yeah, that's all you, man.
I'm a Carrera fanboy, so I'll continue giving away Carrera cars. So if you like Carrera cars,
nice.
Yeah, I like Carrera cars. They're still my number one in my heart. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot for being with us, and ciao. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.